Hi there, this is how I would look at the main website in question, which of course is excelpricefeed.com here. So you basically want to know these. So is it possible to compete with them? That will totally depend on how direct you're going to go with them, if you're going to be doing very similar to what they're doing, and also how competitive they already are and where they're positioned as a website on the internet. Is this niche competitive? Well, we're going to have a look now. I've got some information I'm going to show you. What would the operational steps be with SEO with regards to that, and it being a new site? Typically, you're going to need to start producing a lot of content. That's just to establish you and your site for keywords associated to that industry. And there's lots of other industries around that, which I'll also show you, but we need to benchmark that against what the companies or the websites that you're trying to compete against are doing already at this moment in time. And I'm going to now show you what some of their information. Now, this is just a general overview. There's nothing in too much detail. Of course, when we begin the SEO campaign, I'll provide you with all the necessary research and looking into the industry, the market, the competitors, and that will include stuff like a website quality audit to see the website that you've built. It'll also include a keyword gap analysis to see what keywords we can find gaps within where your competitors are, so we can go for those low-hanging fruit opportunities, etc. But I can get into more detail of that later on. So we come over here. This is the website that you provided, Excel Price Feed. So domain rating relatively low, and that's good for us because that's an opportunity that shows us we can raise our domain rating to similar and higher relatively quickly within a short period of time. So we can be competing with a domain rating or domain authority perspective. Now, this domain rating is built up from these number of backlinks or these number of referring domains, and this is how many keywords they're indexed for. Hence why I say we need to produce a lot of content, because they're already indexed for 2,000 keywords, which suggests they've already got a lot of content. And all of that's generating this amount of traffic, and this is the value that that traffic has. So without going into detail about the actual site or anything, we can just sort of take a general overview. They've had looks like a strong backlinking campaign over the past year, and they've had that's related to that, referring pages versus the domains. You can see the domain ratings are rising, and they've had obviously a lot more backlinks being acquired than the orange where they've been being lost. Now, this would suggest that there's a lot of activity happening from India. That's probably they have an Indian SEO company doing it, hence why this is the strongest color. And if we want to go over to organic search, we can see over the last 1 year that they've had sort of ups and downs, and I guess that's where they've jumped back and forth within the rankings for different content that they've produced. Some of the main things, top pages that they're ranking for is stock sector list Excel download, stock analysis Excel template, etc., etc. So that suggests that these, whatever they've produced with regards to this, has given them position 1, position 1, position 5. So they're on page 1 for all of these keywords, and that's generating this amount of traffic. So no, that's the volume that's potential for that keyword, and that's the traffic that they are receiving for ranking position 1 for that. So that gives us an idea of where you could be. So you're where you are, this is where these guys are, and we want to try and fill in the gaps related to that. So if we just have a quick look at their organic keywords, again, this is just going to be a little bit more in detail. If we put this filtered by position, and we can see that, okay, there's their number 1 keyword we've just seen, and then there's a number of other keywords going down this list, which you can see they're on page 1 and position 1, and then going down to position 2, position 3, position 4, etc. So that gives us an idea that, you know, there is a number of strong keywords that have been written. The keyword difficulty is 37, 21. So that gives us an idea that, okay, what do we want? What do we have to do to rank for this keyword? So let's have a look at this keyword in more detail as an example. It shows us its difficulty. It's quite hard. The volume's not incredibly high. It's probably quite a specific search term. And we can see the position history. All of these websites which have been ranking for them, they've all stayed pretty stable because that represents all the lines. Normally, you'd like to see a lot of activity of up and down bouncing because that suggests that pages are jumping around. So, okay, this gives us a snapshot of page 1 on Google. So we can see that they are number 1, and with regards to their domain rating, they're relatively low in comparison to the others. I mean, you see they've got 12 here, 29 to 77. All of these domain ratings are pretty high in comparison. So they've done a good job of ranking for that. It shows how many backlinks they've got versus their competitors. So that could be that they actually have within their domain name Excel and that could be helping them rank. But because they're ranking for this, which is stock sector, which is the top keyword, stock sector list Excel download, there is probably some very good quality content written on that subject. And again, without going into too much detail, this gives us just a general idea, and that's why I just want to show you where they're looking. Whereas compared to this, which is investexcel.net, they have 29, and they've got, you know, incredibly more amount of backlinks in relation to there, but they're not outranking them. So that's interesting. There might be some things that we can see within when we start the campaign to look at the analysis, the gap analysis, to see what are these guys doing that these guys aren't. Now coming over, just looking at sort of some of the main competitors they've got. There's one website here which is sort of strongest correlation with regards to keywords that they're ranked for, common keywords, because they've got the most common keyword, well, no, the least common, but keywords unique to target. So that is the amount of keywords that are unique to this website, and this is the amount of keywords which are common between the sites of the site that's in question, which is Excel Price Feed, and these sites here. So I've just opened up a few just to give you an idea. So here's another one, which is investexcel.net, which we saw higher the main rating. This is the one that was quite powerful. We can see the stuff that they're ranking for. So they've gone for a lot of these keywords, which again may be related to what you're looking for. And again, it's just a case of producing high quality content in and around those keywords, such as historical gold prices, Excel, and so on and so forth. So this just gives us an idea of how competitive the sites are that you'd be going up against. These guys have 6,200 keywords that they're indexed for. The next site here, they've got 416 keywords that they're indexed for. Lower amount of traffic, pretty much non-existent domain rating. So you could definitely take this Warren Buffett spreadsheet website, you could easily overtake them relatively quickly. And then again, another competing domain, they're ranked for 2,200 keywords. So again, let's have a look at what they're ranking for. That'll give us an idea of positions. So they've got one where they're on position 1, dividend tracking spreadsheet. So we can see that there's a lot of good quality content they produce. It seems like quite a broad market, and it doesn't seem as if we're going up against Google's, Facebook's, or anything of that caliber where their domain ratings are 90 and above. So there's definitely some opportunity to be ranked in for this. The main thing to do, I would suggest, in this SEO campaign would be that, yes, we're going to have to produce a lot of content. That's standard for a brand new website because you need to get yourself established within that space. But it's a case of what are we producing content around. So we would want to look at, first of all, doing a website quality audit. And that would basically provide us with an understanding of everything on your site that's doing good and doing bad. And that basically means you can go and pump a load of money into SEO, but if your website's not in a healthy position to actually rank, then it's a waste of our time and energy. So first and foremost, website quality audit. Then after the website quality audit, then we start doing a competitor and keyword gap analysis to find out what are your competitors doing and where are the gaps within where they're ranking, where they're not ranking, more importantly, that we can then target to try and get some quick wins and go for some low-hanging fruit. As an example, just looking on this page, this keyword has 500 in volume, a potential volume to rank for. Now, how to make $500 a month in dividends. Now we could create a nice authoritative article on that subject. It's relatively low as a keyword. Difficulty is only 6, which means it's easy. Produce a high piece of quality content, do some backlinking in relation to that, and build the authority of that page and also of the home page. And then we could start to see the rankings increase. But of course, this is not something that's going to happen over weeks. It's going to be more something that's going to happen over, with regards to a new website, months, because you have no grounding. And if it was that easy, then people could just pop up scam websites all over the place and rank them relatively quickly. So this is a long play, as it's a brand new website, and you're looking between a 9 to 12 month effort to get to where you want to get to. But that's just standard with any sort of SEO campaign for a beginner, like a website which is beginning from nothing, from scratch. So I hope that gives you a little bit more insight into what your competitor landscape looks like. Again, this is just a general overview. There's nothing in detail here, and there's not too much analysis. It's just my opinion, looking at some superficial facts at the top, surface level facts. So best thing would be to get the website established, get some more grounding, and then we can start looking at the SEO campaign, and then I can get to work and doing what I do. So, okay, hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.